Mr. Speaker, let me say from the outset that the matter we are discussing, I think it's a matter that is important and should be important to all of us. From the government side, let me say that there's a recognition that this is a matter that must be fixed. Secondly, let me say that the matter to be fixed is not a political matter, it's an administrative matter. And what we see happening here all afternoon, while some members over there, they're saying, let us work together to fix it, on one hand, they're doing their darndest to politicize the matter. In some instances, some of them are politicizing the matter in ethnic terms. And so, if you agree, like we agree, this is a matter that should be fixed, then it behoves all of us to ensure that we can work together to have the matter fixed in the interests of the public servants my colleagues across the aisle say they love so much. So the debate now has spun on 1 month, and my colleague has indicated the amendment that speaks to reasonable time. And some persons across there, they're asking, well, what is reasonable time? You can put any time, in my view. But unless we attempt to fix the administrative system that will allow for timely payment, all that is happening here this afternoon is just chatter. It's just people trying to play to the gallery, people playing politics. But importantly, Mr. Speaker, I heard many persons over the opposition side spoke to this motion, who were ministers of government. Honorable Karen Cummings, Minister of Health. While she bemoaned the problem, she did not utter one sentence as to what I did as minister to help to fix it. The move of the motion, same thing. The Honorable Dawn Hastings that just spoke before me, who said she was minister of everything. Not a sentence or a word to say, I attempted to have this matter fixed because I recognize that this matter was not a matter that didn't hurt public servants. And that is the issue why my colleagues on this side, when they speak to the motion, they're making the point. What is the point? And I've said before, the APNU AFC, what they're noted for. When they're in government, they're the dullest dull. But when they're out of government, they're the brightest lights. Brightest lights. In opposition, they will come here and they pontificate about everything that can be fixed, how it should be fixed. But they were in government for 5 years. They spoke passingly about a COI that they established. None of the honorable members could say what we implemented from our own COI. Not one of them. The recommendations, it was with your government for 4 years. You spent large sums of money to have a COI done. You see, the market is starting up there because it hurts. The market is, the market is going to get louder just now. But here you went into government. You said you recognize that there are deficiencies within the public service and how it is managed. And therefore, to advise yourself, you go and you establish a competent commission of inquiry, as you said. And this report, the attempt was to help us to understand the issues, and secondly, fix the problems. And I can go. Ministry of Education, the same thing. COI, lots of money, yet to see the light of the day. And they will come here and pontificate about everything that is wrong with education. Gaisuko, they love COIs. But after the report, nothing, NOTHING. That is your searching. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Issa is right. Issa is right. Oh, so, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, then you have many of the speakers who spoke over there. Honorable Jermaine Figueroa pontificating about what should be done for farmers in Region 10. When he had power to fix for farmers in Region 10, you know what he did? The only farmer he fixed for was himself, to set up a pig farm. And he wasn't finished with that. He went on to get a spread of land in the last days of the administration during the 5 months. From Nisil to transfer to him and the other minister who used to be Minister of Housing. And they care so much about the people. That is the annoyance, if you all want to know why we're so annoyed when you all speak. That is the annoyance, is that you got a gumption. It's like, the Jewish people say you have the chutzpah, that you come into this place and you pontificate. And when you had, because you started the politicking, I'm responding to you. I am responding to you. You don't like it?
Mr.
You don't
Speaker.
like the pontification? You don't like the politicking?
Mr. Speaker.
You don't like the politicking? You should have spoken to Jermaine
Mr.
Figueroa when he
Speaker.
stood up. Mr. Speaker, the point is,
Honorable
Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Minister, yes, Mr.
Thank you,
Serna.
Mr. Speaker. Sir, I stand in order 46, where the Honorable Minister is imputing negative motive against me on a matter that the Chief Justice has ruled on. So I suggest, Honorable Speaker, that you ask the Honorable Member to refrain from making those allegations and remove it from the record.
Honorable
Mr.
Member,
Speaker,
Honorable Member, just 1 minute, please. Honorable Member, Mr. Figueroa, could you clarify the standing order on which you rose, please? Thank you. Honorable Minister, you may continue.
Mr. Speaker, let me repeat.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, let
stand
me
in
repeat.
order 46,
Honorable Minister.
1. The minister has imputed negative comments towards my name a matter that is before the courts and is still sub judice. However, the Chief Justice has ruled on one of the cases relating to what the minister has just brought to this house and is grossly
Honorable,
incorrect.
Honorable
And is
Mr.
misleading
Figuera.
this house, sir.
Honorable Member Figuera. The standing order under 46-1. If you wish to,
45-5.
if
I
you wish to
stand corrected.
clarify. 46-1 is
I'm
very
correcting
distinct.
myself, Honorable Speaker. But the issue is still, the issue still exists. The minister is imputing negative wording towards my name, a matter that is still sub judice.
Honorable Mr. Figuera, there is also no 45-5. Honorable Minister, you may continue.
Was it what? Was it?
Minister.
For the 5B, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister, please continue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I have said, and let me repeat, the members in the opposition, they always wonder why when they speak, we have this annoyance when they speak. It is because, as I have said, they come to this place, and if someone didn't know them, didn't know they were in government, and they hear them speak, believe me, they would believe that these are saints that have fell from heaven. They would believe that because they tried their darndest. And you know, I give the opposition members credit for this. With a straight face and a bare face, they will be in your face making comments and saying things that are untruth. I mean, it is the most brazen thing in my own my political life I have seen. I have been in this National Assembly since 1998, and I've never seen a crop of member parliaments who are so shameless, who come forward and they speak and they pontificate, having no shame in this regard. And that is the annoyance. And you want to know, outside of this National Assembly, that is the annoyance of the Guyanese people when they look at you on the television. That honorable member, Ferguson, just spoke, and she veered into the territory of corruption. A person who gifted herself bangles and bed sheets from government funds. I mean, this is the most brazen thing.
Mr. Speaker, where's he standing order?
Honorable Minister, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I'm trying to put before this House and the Guyanese people why not at all.
Mr. Speaker,
Why not at all? They must believe.
Honorable Minister, Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, as I understand parliamentary procedures, if the member rises on a point of order, the proceedings must stop instant. And
Honorable members, I'm
once
trying
a
to,
point of
Honorable
order-
Leader of the Opposition,
once-
Honorable members,
once
I'm trying to listen to the Leader of the Opposition. So please permit him an opportunity so that I could get this point explicitly clear.
Once a point of order is made, Mr. Speaker, as I understand it, the speaker has to stop and the person is in, the member is invited, the member is invited to raise the point of order and state under the standing order. So in this regard, I thought Honorable Member Ferguson was raising a point of order and she should be allowed to.
Honorable Leader of the Opposition, I thank you. And for the consumption of all my honorable colleagues in this House, the standing orders are very explicit that the person that catches the speaker eye or speaker's eye shall be given an opportunity, the first person in that sense. The second point being that when you rise on a point of order, you must explicitly and clearly state on which point of order you're rising. Barring any of those, it becomes really difficult for the speaker to enforce the standing order per se. So it does not permit someone to stand on a point of order and then have to go through an encyclopedia to find the point. Honorable Minister.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, a point of order. Mr. Speaker, 41.
Honorable
I'm making a
Leader
point.
of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, 41(6). No member shall impute improper motive to any member of the assembly. I am submitting, Mr. Speaker, that here we're having a case of a member doing just that. And that member should be made to desist. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Minister, one moment. Honorable Leader of the Opposition, the standing orders are very explicit. And I need not repeat them. I think we're all capable of reading what the standing orders say and how we stand on a point of order. Honorable Minister Hamilton.
Mr. Speaker, let me say, and I'm sure the records of this National Assembly, for the Leader of the Opposition, he wasn't around these parts of town at that time. The evidence was brought to this National Assembly, receipts and invoices about Honorable Member Ferguson, bed sheets and bangles and bracelets, and never contested. The answers will show that. Mr. Speaker, I don't plan
Mr.
to
Speaker,
continue with this. But just
Mr. Speaker.
to make the point, I'm
Mr.
trying to
Speaker,
make the point here.
Honorable Minister,
Mr.
Honorable-
Speaker,
Honorable Minister, Honorable Annette Ferguson.
thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand on a point of order, and I would refer you to Standing Order 41(6). And this is what Standing Order 41(6) states, and I quote: "No member shall impute improper motive to any member of the National Assembly." Mr. Speaker, I wish to state for the records of the National Assembly that I, Annette Ferguson, who served as a Minister of Government, was never given bangles, was never given bed sheets, was never given beds. So since the honorable member made reference to those items, I am challenging the honorable member to bring to the National Assembly the evidence, because like he in learning, I got here in the courts, you know.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister,
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister,
Yes, sir.
if you have evidence of the Honorable Member having those things, then please lay it before the Assembly. If
Mr.
not,
Speaker, I
Honorable
have,
Minister, I'm not done.
Mr. Speaker,
If not, sir,
the evidence
if
was already laid in the National Assembly.
Honorable Minister,
Yes, sir.
I have not completed what I was saying.
I will submit the evidence.
And until such time as that evidence is submitted, we will refrain from imputing improper motive to the Honorable Member. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, facts in my view, are not imputation. And let me move on. Mr. Speaker, I was saying that the annoyance the Guyanese people they have against my friends across the island is that all the things they did, they will stand up brazenly before the National Assembly and the Guyanese people, and they try to say to the Guyanese people that this that is factual and this that is truth, y'all got it wrong. I mean, it is the most brazen thing. Mr. Speaker, please, opposition leader, you know I'm capable of dealing with any Kavakamite in the PNC, so please leave me alone and let me move on and deal with the motion. Mr. Speaker, the people across the aisle there, the opposition members, they loved the workers so much. They loved the workers so much that when they came into office, one of the first things they did is bring an end to the Ministry of Labor. One of the first things these people love workers so much. Abandoned the Ministry of Labor, disbanded it. The People's Progressive Party Civic, from since August 2020, had to restore, reestablish, and expanding the Ministry of Labor. We are the ones who care about workers. That's the evidence. That is the real issues. Those are the facts of this discussion. You love workers so much, and you saw it fit to bring an end to a most important ministry in national development, and you thought it was not that important. Mr. Speaker, let me say this for the chanter, whichever one of them chanting there. Look, importantly, one of the issues when you're discussing workers and their rights, it's not just about salary and wages, and that's why you all are stuck it up in past. The issue about their development, the issue about human development, training and development of workers. Those are important issues to argue and debate. Issues about safety and health of workers. Issues of proper housing for workers. Issues of proper health care for workers. That is, people who are serious. That is how you discuss public servants. That is how you discuss training and retraining of workers, human development issues, protection of the rights of workers. So you don't come here and glibly, you say, okay, let us ensure that in 1 month's time the workers get their salaries. There are important issues that we have to, if we are serious and honest people, that we have to together ensure that when we talk about protection of the rights of workers and their constitutional right. I heard Honorable Member Cummins reading a book. My dearest, you should have read it when you were a minister. Not come now as MP and reading it. It would have given you some guidance how to deal with your employees who worked under you. And maybe you could have shared it around to your other colleagues. Mr. Speaker, you know, and my good friend Figuera, MP, first time, second time, opposition leader now. He will tell you how much his heart and soul and his belly is in Linden. Ask any one of them. What program or programs have you taken to Linden to ensure that people's life can be developed? What educational development program you have taken? Your
Mr.
constituent,
Speaker, if
your constituent, and you will pontificate
Mr. Speaker,
about all the votes you will.
Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the honorable member asked
He will get his time to speak. I don't know what is happening. What is that? You're speaking in this debate, Mr. Norton. You will get your chance to speak. We are jumping up like a peacock all the time.
Honorable
Mr.
Minister of
Speaker,
Labor.
I was saying, the opposition leader, he shouldn't be jumping up like a peacock all the time. Your name is on the list to speak. And you will have your time to speak. But I was saying, Mr. Speaker, that the Ministry of Labor, they disbanded it. Today they will come and they'll talk about workers and what we're doing for them. Mr. Speaker, you know, there's a department under the Ministry of Labor called the Board of Industrial Trading. Let me give you the evidence to show how much they care about the people. Under the APNU AFC, the average amount of persons they trained in technical skills was between 1,300 to 1,500 persons per year. The People's Progressive Party came to government in August 2020, and when 2020 finished, we already trained 2,000 persons. 2021, we increased that by over 50% by training 3,086 persons. Mr. Speaker, right now as I speak, Mr. Speaker, just last week, Monday rather, I was in Linden, Region 10. And whilst 179 young people assembled at the Linden Technical Institute to get training and development in skills, the honorable opposition leader was speaking to some chairs across the river. And you know what that is saying to us? Is that people's concern is not political rhetoric and nonsensical discourse. Their interest is about their development. That is their interest. And y'all are yet to understand that. Y'all are yet to understand that over there. Region 10, and I need to make this point so people understand when they ask what we're doing. Kwakwani, 124 persons graduated last year. You know what? One of them testified. The first time they have had a bit graduation and people trained in Kwakwani. Your constituent, Mr. Aubrey Norton, opposition leader. Presently, as I speak, about 400 young men and women are being trained presently in Region 10 in specific skill sets so that they can participate in the economy and the development of this country. You see? Nearsighted, no sighted. No sighted, ready work there. If you're building 1,000 houses, honorable opposition leader, you have to have masons and carpenters, so you have to train them now. Are you not understanding? If you are discussing oil and gas employment for our people, one of the fundamental skills there is welding and fabrication. Those concepts apparently you don't understand. So you actually ready work there, the work is all around. Mr. Speaker, because in some of the language I heard is this conversation about discrimination. And that is the reason why I'm painting this picture here, so that people could get an understanding as to what is happening. My good colleague Vindhya Prasad, she could come here and stand and make the same arguments. Minister of Education, all the ministers, they can come here and they can put before you the facts. How in the last 2 years, we have been making things possible for the development of the lives of people in this country. That is the fact of the matter. So, Mr. Speaker, don't come and shed crocodile tears, alligator tears for public servants. The public servants are wise enough. The issues Honorable Mustafa raised, and when he spoke about the measures of government, those measures impact positively on public servants and all workers. It's like, you know, this non-sightedness. When Honorable Prema Manichan, Minister of Education, make available the Because We Care Child grant, many of the children, they're children of public servants. And so the failure of the APNU FC is because y'all were so blind. Y'all have no understanding about the connection of government, one sector to the other. And that was your failure in everything you did. So, Mr. Speaker, as I have said, you know, again, I think Honorable Ferguson stood up there, you know. Honorable Ferguson, Mr. Speaker, she's asking me to present evidence.
Honorable Minister, in order for you to ask more questions, you will need a 5-minute extension.
Mr. Speaker, I ask kindly that the member, honorable member, be given 10 minutes to conclude his presentation.
Honorable Minister Manichan, the most the House can grant is 5 minutes.
5 minutes to conclude his presentation.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, Honorable Member Ferguson, she's asking me to present the evidence about the bangles and bracelet. Honorable Member stood there not so long ago and said deliberately that the People's Progressive Party Civic Manifesto promise that we will give the public servants 50% when we get into government. Total untruth, fabrication, and all the other words that I cannot use in this parliament. That brazenly, knowing that to be untruth, knowing that to be false. Oh, look, look, look. The man who blocked up the road saying that too. So, Mr. Speaker, as I have said when I started, the government of Guyana recognize that this matter must be fixed. Mr. Speaker, the government of Guyana will fix this matter like we have fixed so many other matters that you failed to fix. Mr. Speaker, if my colleagues on the opposite side, they're serious about this matter, they will allow the amendment that was put forward by the Honorable Member, Minister of Public Service. Honorable Member Hastings talk about, let us work together for the benefit of the public servants. Accept the amendment and let us work together for the benefit of the public servant. Other than that, all you would be doing all afternoon is trying to politicize a matter that only can be fixed administratively. That is the issue here. So, if Honorable Member who piloted the motion, if you're so serious as a former Minister of Public Service, and you have repented, you should accept the amendment and let us work together, as the Honorable Madam Hastings said, for the interests of the public servants. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.